I'm gonna go Otter, Klutzy, Smoke. Sorry Sam, I love you, but I don't love you at the same time. Anyway. Alright, this is going to be the most breathtaking part of the day as I prepare my lungs for this insanity as we go to the 5 red lights. They get ready to go. The green flag on the hollow screen. I can't see the lights. I can very barely as the 5 lights come on. And it is lights out and away we go. Klutz is still bouncing around like a balloon as he goes. Sem gets a very good run into turn 1. Doesn't get a good run, so he does. He loses the back end almost, doesn't spin completely as Bennett's making a few places now. As the run, Klutz is still bouncing. I love to see it as the 2 Aston Martins have swap positions. Any moves at the back I can't fully see completely. Oh, yeah. See this run from Klutzy and Sem. Going down to the hairpin, he's going to get all the slipstream that he needs into the Wall of Champions, and maybe I'll have a look at turn 1. What's the gap? Roughly, approximately 3.5 tenths, roughly. Is he's right on the gearbox? Sem doesn't have a good hairpin. Yeah, a little bit wider as all the... Okay, great connection from Bennett there as he's getting ghosted by Otter on the soft. So what the hell? That is a brilliant connection for Bennett. I think Liam might have damage, or Van Dorn. Liam might have damage in that back Mercedes. As, like I said, Bennett losing all the places he had and won because of some internet and ghosting issues. Klutzy's laggy. Apparently, that might be the problem with him bouncing up and down. Moving up and down side to side like a roller coaster. Don't DMCA me. As he comes through now, 3 tenths still, same gap as last lap. What though, is he on the soft side? Could be Chan Honk. No. Wow. On the softs. On the softs as well would be Darren in the McLaren. As say Van Dorn did have a podium finish in Bahrain, if I'm right in saying. I believe he was 3rd in that race. As now fastest lap does go to Otter, that'll probably change throughout the race quite dramatically. As Sem goes very wide, Klutzy goes very, hugs it into the inside. You see the run into turn 3. Just going through now through the Concord. Heading into this section. Right left-hander is a massive lockup and he's going to collect him. He is round. Otter takes the lead. They have made a French kiss in the middle of the track. Now that's going to allow Otter to go through, smoke everyone as Sam goes round the back. I wouldn't say commentator's curse because I've actually got a prediction right, but it would take a miracle for Sam to get back to where he was, especially with some of the gaps that are forming, as now it's a 1.8 second lead from Otter to smoke. Morgan's through on clock right now. They're going to battle wheel to wheel, the Haas and the Ferrari, 2 Ferrari powered cars. Got to be careful there because any mistake allows risk, and Van Dorn to have a look at them as well. As we see now, they're going side to side. They're going to go for a French chicane. Surely Bennett's going to get caught as well. Oh no. Oh, what a move! Bennett sending it down the inside. What a move. Chucks it in at the Wall of Champions. Unbelievable stuff from him. It's Van Dorn. Oh, Van Dorn. 6 to be exact. You look at them, Sem's down 18, that's because he's starting on poles. Now last poles, lost 5. Klutzy losing 13 in the incident, Not many big losers, but a lot of big gainers. I say Predators up 4 from 18th on the grid. Alfie up 4 from 14th. Van Dorn up 6 from 12. Risk up 4 from 9th. Morgan in the next position. Otto obviously up 4 into the lead of the race as the closest gap will follow that battle now. This will be Darren and Owen in the McLarens. Even though there is actually one closer, this will be Liam and Alfie, but this fat DRS train is starting to come from smoke at the head of the table. It's the 2 Aston Martins, the 2 Ferraris, leading into a Mercedes, a Haas, and the 2 McLarens. This train goes on for quite some time to VR back in P14, who's on the softs. As it stands, gonna go for it. Lovely jump. As they maybe Aston Martin do something similar with smoke, even though he is. Hey. I might have a little drinking game where I drink every time someone gets a time penalty. The track limits. I mean, I'm taking it from like, if smoke and doing what you did to me. So, right down, he's got yeah, I was going to say out the further the 4 chicanes, Predators have been left in the wall, and he's going to get back on track now. No idea exactly what happened there, but on the topic, you know, you said team orders with McLaren, you know, maybe Darren letting Owen let him get by. Aston Martin, I think, should do the same unless Bennett just doesn't feel comfortable with the pace, you know. That's a good one. I think this will be a battle of the connections between Clutzy and Sam as well. If he has, in fact, DC'd, I have no idea. That's a shot. That's a little sip of Dr. Pepper for me as Morgan picks up a time penalty. Oh. It was in the same sip. It's fine. As we see the closest battle here, 2.5 tenths. So I know it was one smaller between Clutzy and Sam, but there'll be a connection of lag as Van Dorn actually did get past him. Van Dorn's on an absolute storm around here as it stands. Some much needed points for McLaren. I thought there was an incident there. It's just, oh my word, getting very close. You could see the little hole for the engine cooling. As we see, we'll watch from the back of clock. Is it 6? As we say. As race maker, well, a cluster making Sam, pretty dangerous direction, just get through, and close enough to go back to the we'll see Panther in the chat asking what happened to Sem. Well, big Semi boy locked his rears in the same spot Sebastian Vettel went off a few years ago in his Red Bull days, which gave Jenson Button the win, 2011 I believe, if I'm right in saying. So he went off there, locked his rears, collected Clutzy, but yeah, he did go onto the hard, so he's just going to prolong that stint. Would love a safety car, have a chance of getting anywhere near where he was. Oh no! You're joking. Oh no, you're not. The gap currently in the lead, 2.5 seconds, is Otter. Didn't think, you know, he'd be within the lead this early, I'd say. Not to discredit him or anything, but he's done his job, kept it on the track as it stands. Hate to see what Panther says about Sam, yep. Good lap from him, to be fair. Yeah. Oh, early. Oh, whoa. Liam. Whether there's been an incident with cars going into the pits or something, who knows. Didn't quite catch it in time. It's going very slowly. It doesn't look like there's any wing damage. Oh yeah, no there is. Yeah, there is. He's missing his right end plate. His Liam as Alfie picks up a penalty. I'm done with the drinking game at this point. You see Connor, Darren in the pits. And he's now got a penalty. What's that? 7 drivers with a penalty right now. Connor makes it 8. He's got the pit limiter. So he's currently on 8 drivers out of 19 on penalties. Let's see how many will have them at the end. That was Klutz. He's now past Liam. Liam struggling with wing damage. He doesn't even make the corner, does Liam? he's struggling that bad. It's not good for the Mercedes. Again, it's annoying considering I'm in that team for the joint constructors, but I don't know how chalked it is as of now. I mean, we have got the McKay and Alfie, who's very, very quick indeed. It's more unfortunate, to be fair, I'd say. It's just very unfortunate, you know, you just catch him out, nothing you can really do. You know, you think he's just going to continue right, then just hooks it left trying to save it. Counters too much, you could say, and just causes it, which is a shame. Especially if there's a safety count. Yeah, I was gonna say. That was my first race in the old league that I did. Well, in the tier I was promoted in, it was around here. Safety car came clutch. Looking for a run out for risk is Bennett and Sam, the only one on the softs that had started there. Right now, yeah, Ben hasn't really made any inroads on smoke. I think he's just saying, you know what, your championship leader will let you carry on. As Bennett does peel into the pits, I assume Sam will do the exact same. What can Bennett do on his outlap though? That is the next main question. Van Dorn getting very close to the back of Risk. Not going to go for a move into turn 1. Bennett pitting, yeah, that was really fast. Yeah, I fell for that as well. He is ahead of Sam. Morgan getting some pens as we see Van Dorn closest he's been to Risk. Looked like he wanted to have a little go. Takes the dirty air, the out of dirty airline as he looks to get this fat run into turn 1. Risk won't have DRS if I'm right in saying, going off of that. We'll find out. No, he doesn't, so this will be an easy pass down the main back straight. So he's just going to concede the position. No point trying to fight. I mean, you physically cannot fight it because of how good the DRS is around here. Here we go. Routine. Modi hasn't pitted yet as well, so he'll be on that older rubber. Let's go to this little backfight with Connor in the Alpine, which I do love the sound of. As we see Sam coming into the pits finally off of those softs. Very deep. Oh, it's fine. Yeah, I used to have to get all the time. Yeah, no, I normally have that sometimes in the first few races I did. It's no biggie. You don't really, it's not like a game that you need audio for. Pretty much. As long as the stream can hear it, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. We see it closest battle we'll get on board with. That'll be Connor. There's just nothing really up the road until about 5 tenths, which is Owen. The clock will follow that because Owen does have DRS. Clock doesn't, but Owen does get a poor run up the hairpin. I think he's had a few problems there as the race has gone.
Darren's going to make a move here, ran outside his dad, and he gets down to 11. As Modi's struggling on this set of tyres, as more pellets go throughout the field.
Van Dorn past smoke.
6 and Darren's down 9.
Van Dorn is past smoke, and that gap from Otto, they've pulled each other through, to be fair. Mega, it was around 2.5 seconds, now it is 1.3. Who's talking 6 miles away from the mic? I assume is Arben, who is currently on Discord, because Xbox does its usual trick of not letting us include the party audio, because that would make my life a lot easier. My mic is the closest it can to be my mouth, and it is my usual streamer mic. My other headset is completely useless for some reason. It's one of those where like the mic's like really tiny on the air, on like the outside of the ear. It's just, I don't know. I thought
to make a move on smoke, I believe, or looking to as he smoke defense inside. Oh, when it hits Van Dorn, that's
see it. Or Risk. Ultimate opportunist. Rated R Superstar Edge would have his name. Is he going to go? No, he's not. A little bit of weaving save. Sem's crossed the pit lane early twice. That's looking at him. Yeah, Dolphin, it's best we could do, mate, to be fair, without me having to do a massive arm workout. I mean, my calves are shot from today. I had to walk like 2 kilometres after the bus because the bus stop didn't work. I'm trying my best, as much as I can. But as you see, this battle will continue. I'll just hold it closer, it's fine. Risk as VR picks up another time penalty, so that is now 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, maybe 10, 11, 12. It's 11 minimum drivers with a time penalty so far. Sem, I think, is only because of his pit lane infringement. Because now Liam is past Moley. That's because Moley's pitted. He's finally off of his first set of mediums. We check who hasn't stopped yet, even that should be obvious. Front 8 have not stopped, and then Paul after hasn't either. They'll be on the hards as is Predators.
Something I said about rain. I don't know if it's glitched, but my sky's definitely blue sky, so I don't know when the rain's going to hit. It was going to be right at the end of the session.
It's supposed to be at the end of the race, as there's a car very slow. Yep, Paul is round, got to get out of the way, otherwise you're going to end up with another car.
Otter's pulled in the pits as well as Smoke, I believe. I think that's it.
Yeah, it's around lap 13.
Upstairs mediums.
Yep, so it'll be medium soft for the two leaders, you could say. Dolphin shan't be just any better because it is the best I can do. I can maybe like turn my iPad up 1 or 2 more times, and that is pretty much
max. Something to bear in mind is that Otter's been jumped by Bennett and Morgan as well, as there's another crash, I believe.
Sem's day is going from what was pretty much perfect to bad to worse. Not ideal for that at all. What's the actual speaker here?
Yes, I believe in pit stops is that Morgan's now the net race leader, if I'm not mistaken. If he's pitted already. I could be wrong.
Oh, it might be.
Or maybe it's Bennett. As Alfie gets past
no,
Owen.
Morgan. It is Morgan.
So, good move from Alfie there. I think being opportunistic as Sam is retired in the pit lane, so unfortunate for him.
Don't blame him, yeah. End of the day, it was his mistake of locking the rears, spinning him round. As the multitude of cars come into the pit lane, we play pit lane musical chairs for position. Yeah, I think that's a lot better going off what I can hear roughly on my phone about 2 meters away from me. As Alfie takes the lead, it's an Alfa Romeo 1-2, tired of this Alfa Romeo dominance. As it stands, is what Twitter would say. My god, it does mean sometimes you see everyone pretty much on the mediums apart from Risk. Predators. Horse, who had his incident, is now down in 18th and will be a pit stop behind everyone. Morgan, they're getting very close to Klutzy. This is a 10 lap tyre difference between the two. He's going to go for it now, I think, underneath the bridge. Oh, very close. Might be a connection problem because, you know, we have heard he has been lagging heavily. He's going to... Oh, this is a good little battle, though. Klutzy will have DRS if he can mount a fight back into the Wall of Champions or beyond. If he doesn't pit, that is. Getting very touchy. You've got to be careful there because Bennett is licking his lips as well as Otter. Oh my word, Bennett is now going to be ahead of Klutzy. Really poor exit for him. Is that going to allow Otter through? No, Otter's nowhere near as it stands, but good straight line speed on the setup. I need the telemetry up to see battery power. Yeah, Bennett used all of his battery, to be fair, as he does go into the pit, so it's kind of, you know, it's maybe a little bit of my games. Wouldn't read too much into it, but Klutzy will come out, I believe, in front of Liam as... Oh, Otter, no, sticks one up the inside, looking to make a move. Very opportunistic. He's going to get the traction. What traction that is from Otter. His differential must be loving it as he goes into P3 in what I believe would be a net P2 for when DPT Alfie does eventually pit.
I think our next battle to watch is the battle for P5 right now between Darren, Briss, Smoke and Van Dorn. That's the next one. And Smoke's on the back of the McLaren, so let's see if we make a move going under the bridge. And
He's going
Darren
to go for
doesn't really defend.
Otter picks up time.
Or Smoke goes a bit wide, and that may allow Briss to get through, and he might get a double overtake.
Triple.
Going down into the hairpin.
Triple when Van Dorn goes past. Very, oh my word, the squeeze a little bit there from Darren. That's even worse camera angle. That is.
Almost making contact there. Just Prentice gets a penalty there.
I'll tell you what the camera angle in a second. Once this little lap battle is done, as Risk
As Risk gets past.
2 by 2.
And if Van Dor's trying to make a move, and
oh,
gets up again. That allows the clock to catch up a bit, because Owen's also following quite close behind.
you know, the camera angle I had was like, do you know the 360 ones they get like for when incidents occur, like the ones Verstappen had at Austria last year, and the one for the crash this year for Hamilton? It was literally that, but without the 360.
Yeah.
So I'm just there staring at a white helmet.
It's really interesting for Alfie's strategy here, because he's stayed out a lot longer than what everyone else does, so I'm wondering how long he's going to stay out, as Sam gets past, is trying to get past Predators for solitary P15, but it's more for pride than anything else, as Predators is on the inside, Sam's on the outside, and Sam squeezes him, the Predators gives him the squeeze back, and there's also Modi also close behind,
Ooh.
as Sam, I believe, does keep ahead in P15. Who's next on the list? I think it's going to be now more of a DRS train again.
Yeah, it will be pretty much. Otto, within a tenth of Morgan, does back off a little bit to ensure he doesn't ram the gearbox. As Morgan picks up another penalty, that'll be the third time penalty he's got.
That's 9 for him.
Yep. The try switching camera.
Right now it's Darren on 12, so with the way he's going, he's going to be disqualified if he keeps on going at the penalty rate he is going at. So hopefully for his case, he winds down on the penalties. As Clutch sets slap in, so he's running 12 and he is 1.56 behind VR6 as Paul gets no penalty.
Yeah, as we see Van Dorn 5 attempts behind. I need to get off the stop. Try switching the camera type for better angles maybe. I'd love to, but when it's, you know, it gives you the exact same angle again like it is doing now, for example, it has to wait till like a certain sector of the track has passed for it to work, and it's like varies between laps. As we see some of the positions made, Alfie leading from 14th, but he's going very long. I think he'll be 2-stopping, but with some softs, or it's going to be a very weird strategy where it goes medium hard, 1 stop. I would love to know what's going on in his head, as we see Otter getting very, very close towards the back of Morgan.
As Modi gets past the Haas apprentice there, so he's up into P16 and closes down his teammate. And Klutz is going to get past VR46 here, and he's going to be up into P12.
Very
trying to make his comeback.
Very easy with Smoke. He's going to have a little battle of Risk, or as I say, battle. It's literally, oh, hang on, we're going to get a little bit of fight back here between the Aston Martin and the Ferrari cars. They're going to go two abreast throughout this first sector. Down is Risk ahead. No, Risk is behind. Got to be careful there, because Van Dorn, he's been looking very eager. And look how close Van Dorn is now. He's going to go wheel to wheel with Risk as he goes through. Little bit of contact and he's round. Risk, I think, turned in a little bit too early. The Mercedes has been spun. Not what you want to see for Van Dorn, who's been brilliant.
So he needs to get out of the way as he's...
Yeah, he's done that well.
But it's quite risky that he's got round. As meanwhile that was going on, Liam made the pit stop for change his front wing, so I believe he had a bashed somewhere. He's now in P18 and last of the people currently in this race.
Another bit of a Mercedes curse at this point, you know. I've had incidents go my way, incidents here. Yeah, it's lovely being a Mercedes driver at times.
The next battle we're going to look at, I believe, is Clutzy on Connor, because Connor doesn't have DRS, and Clutzy's going to make a move into the chicane. There's Owen also get past Clock in the meanwhile, down the chicane as well, and Clutzy, I believe, also makes that move.
Yep, very clear ahead.
U-turn. And then I might see another move into the chicane between the two Red Bulls of Molly and Dan. Molly has a lot more ERS than Sam, whereas a bit more, as Sam squeezes him into the wall, so...
That might be the AI though.
But,
I don't know if he's I don't know if he's disconnected or not. He's got... He's...
As Clock goes on 16-second penalty, so the likes of Bennett, Smoke, Owen are looking very good, because they don't have any penalties to their name right now, and that could elevate them to a position they aren't right now. So if they can keep that clean, that'd be good for them.
I mean, going off the gaps right now, if I go gap to leader, they'd literally take the race win as it stands. No, they wouldn't. Otter would. That's me Chang honk for a second. So as it stands, Otter would win the race, but no, would he? No, it wouldn't be Bennett. Sorry, he's freezing.
Bennett would.
Yeah. Just said I'm good at maths and I'm also terrible at maths in the same moment as Otter now is very close to Alfie. Alfie does finally pit, so maybe this is the most extravagant of one stops we see from Alfie.
As Morgan's now on 12, so that's going to be his chance to race win very much dented, unless he can get past Otter and break away. So, although he is very much lacking on the ERS, so as he has like 60%, sorry, like 50% less, so that's going to be difficult for him. As I believe Darren's made a pit stop, he's made a pit stop.
Yep.
And he's down to 13 for 15 seconds of penalties. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, that would be my point. You know, he's got more penalties, but he's not in an as lucrative position. So I struggle to get my words out for a fast talker. Just, you know, this battle between Risk and Smoke could be a rapper band at the lungs. As we see now, a little bit of a slide on the back end of Risk's car. Is he going to have a look into Smoke? I mean, Smoke won't have DRS. There's none of the front pack will, apart from maybe Morgan and Otter. But that's only because Alfie's now finally out of the way. He's on the softs. Yeah, this will be a one-stop, medium to soft for Alfie. It'll be very interesting to see how racy he'll be. First job he has is catching Connor on those 13 lap all the tyres, and what Alfie's fresh, spanking clean new softs will do. So we see Smoke taking that chicane a little bit slower than what Risk did. 10% battery difference. He's going to go for it round the outside of what would be the inside of turn 1 and go for outside of turn 2. Smoke's going to go for a switchback. That's a very long way to do it. Looking to get it, just doesn't get the run he needs. And that'll be Risk through on those softs, but I believe he will be stopping again at maybe lap 24, I think it says. It said originally all around that area. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do on an even fresher set than what Alfie would have it. And you can look at the clouds. Rain will be starting to come very, very soon. Going off of that, how late it comes, who knows. I say we don't get the luxury of looking at the weather forecast, which I think is incredibly stupid. Beforehand.
I think our next move is going to be Van Dorn recovering from the spin. As Alfie picks up penalties, that's 9 seconds for him. Van Dorn's on the back of VR46, and I believe it should be a very simple move, either into the chicane or the hairpin. Because I can't get my words out either. Yeah. As it goes down the inside into the hairpin. And it should be a pretty simple move, although he might not get DRS from the straight, which might be a bit of a mistake from Van Dorn here. Rather than, no, he does get DRS, so he is fine, and he will break away from VR46, who's on E12 on mediums.
Alfie has just flown past Connor down the main straight. I did go to it as at the perfect time as you were commentating so well in this little battle between Van Dorn. Liam is now past Paul for 16th position. We see Darren now fly past Molly. That was another battle I was going to get a quick look at during that time. Yeah, that'll be a corner cut, surely, as he goes through the Wall of Champions.
Just in that too.
Leaders then are currently in the lead, but with a time penalty, followed by Morgan with even bigger time penalties, followed by Bennett, who has no time penalties, with Risk, who could do with catching up. Otherwise, there might be some problems when we get to the wet weather tyres of the intermediates. I don't know if it's going to get to full wets. I highly doubt it personally.
Also something to bear in mind with the teammates of pistol priority, because obviously from what we can see from the leaderboards, all the teammates are sort of close together.
Very nice.
That's going to be interesting.
Furthest gap between teammates, I believe, would be the Mercedes, or even it would be the McLarens actually. In terms of order, so it's gonna.
If you're with the hash cars too, from clock to Predator.
Yeah, and then Van Dorn and Liam and the Mercedes will pretty much be in that same boat, but you need around, what's it in this game, like 5, 6, 7 seconds maybe?
Yeah.
Roughly, so it's going to be very nip and tuck.
I think it's more than that too, because the game really doesn't like double stacking, so you need a very big margin. So it's going to be interesting. Because Darren picks up another penalty, he's on 18 now, so you know that's going to be very interesting. He's even going to finish the race, because I'm not too sure what the penalty situation will be like for when it's qualified for you, so it might be looking at qualification, which I hope he doesn't, for his sake. Clearly struggling with the strict corner cutting rules on the Canada GP circuit.
As we see Morgan clips a little bit of the inside curve of the hairpin. Gonna get a good run is Bennett into the Wall of Champions if he decides to go for it. Now we can see, I can't see a speck of rain yet. It looks like it is on the track, as Bennett is easily past Morgan. And it is a question of when will it come. We'll probably see is a little bit of a tank slapper going on for risk because he gets a penalty for that. Oh no, it isn't. That's Morgan.
It was risk.
Yeah, no, I was following Morgan and he had a little tank slap and I thought he got the penalty because of that. But you do very well to get a penalty there, or a warning at least there. As we see now, this battle between Smoke and Risks. It is pretty much Aston Martin against Ferrari. Minus Otter.
50 seconds worth of penalty, so that could be very costly for him. As, for example, Smoke hasn't got a penalty at all, so he'll actually finish about 14 seconds behind him. Even though he might finish on track. As the rain's now starting to fall on my screen.
It's raining, it's pouring. The old man certainly isn't snoring because he's up watching some SLR Division 1 action in Canada.
Love that.
I don't like how quick I am with it. I haven't prepared any of this. I'm all off the top of my head. As we see Owen now at the back of this little train here, he'll be licking his lips. If he is going to go for it, or maybe, you know, he's just going to wait it out for the intermediates because he has no pens. But to be fair, Smoke doesn't have any pens either. As you can see, little puddles start to form. He'll be in the first. No, there's no one in. It's just we're way to pit them in, it looks, because it all cuts to the right regardless. But the rain is here. This is when boys get separated from men. The Smoke's going to go for around the outside at risk. Lovely little move from him. He's got to be careful though. Don't fight this fight. But Smoke even does go very deep. He's on the curb, almost spinning round. Collects it kind of nicely as Smoke is going to have a battle. Almost risk chops across him. Owen must be having a feast. He's having a boneless banquet as he looks to pick off the pieces.
As Connor's gone into intermediate, so there is only one, but Connor's, I believe, the first one to go into intermediate tyres. So I'll pay attention on who he closes onto.
Alexa,
it's the right strategy call.
Stop. I don't want specific songs as VR46 tries it as well. It is looking very wet, and you saw if you did watch the Division 2 Spain race, you know, that lap longer on the slicks can almost cost you, as it did cost J. Menz the win.
As Darren's right in the back of Connor, and Connor's immediately been struggling, on his tyres. He's run very wide, and I think it's about
contact.
As Connor and Darren are making contact, and Darren is through, so
he's AIing it to clip it.
It might be a lap or so early. As Connor goes for a low bomb, I think in frustration from the earlier crash, as he
Darren's still AI clipping it, to be fair. So whether he's taking that's everyone's aim. Yeah, but the car staying out there will be Alfie, who's pretty much got nothing to lose, as we see the orange of the McLaren.
Double stats at the Aston Martin, so that's going to be cost him a few positions.
Ferrari as well, as you see the orange come out the box. You call it a carrot in the box. You could say, rest in peace, Sean Locke, we still miss you. As we see Risk in the pits now. Everyone in intermediate apart from Otter, who's gone that lap longer. This could be very, very costly, as we see gap to the leader. 18 seconds, you know, put you behind Bennett, I believe. But it wouldn't matter if it stays as it is, because the end of the race, you have those penalties that you've got to account for. I believe Otter has 3 seconds. Yeah, Alfie's out the running anyway. As Moley has passed Liam on the medium, so maybe he's into the intermediates now on the pits.
Yeah, or just the pitch, wasn't on track.
Yeah, it's the only cars on slicks right now are Otter, Alfie, Sam. He's in the pits now. And Predator's just gone in the pits now. Very lovely delayed situation.
Side by side, Owen and Kloster go side by side, as Kloster picks up a penalty there, so he won't be happy with the McLaren driver, as he's still lagging.
Owen's got 3 seconds on him. If Owen can get some good laps in here, finishes within what, 6 seconds of Alfie, it wouldn't be Alfie too fast. He could have a shout at a podium still if he keeps within the 3 seconds of Klutzy, because obviously Alfie will be pitting. He'll be in around 34 seconds back from the lead if it's a 23-second pit stop total. Going off the leader gap times, if you see now, Alfie and Paul Otter and Alfie come into the pits. Eventually, how far this is actually be quite a bad situation for Otter, because Otter's going to be passed by potentially Morgan, maybe even Clock as well. Has Otter, oh no, Otter's miles in front. I forget how far the pit lane comes. Is Otter?
We'll go side by side maybe. But Otter just retain the lead, and we'll have a fresh lap of intermediates as well. So not that really matters for how much left.
Yep.
But how many laps left, but that one lap can make all the difference. And as Bennett almost is, I think the biggest thing now is going to be time penalties. As Owen picks up a 3-second penalty, which I don't know whether we missed, when we've done that before.
Morgan's just made contact with the wall at the end of the start of the DRS straight on the exit. That might force him to pit. Yeah, he's very slow, 70 miles an hour through that corner. Not usual speeds there. Issues for Morgan. Yeah, he might have to pit just to save a summer, or he's just going to have to hang on and hope no one can get past him in terms of penalties. I mean, he's got 15-second penalties anyway. He's going to be down. If we go off, it'll be 26 seconds. That puts him behind. It'll put him at the points. So his race is pretty much chalked, especially even if there is a safety car. The only driver now left with no penalties is Bennett. He's only got to stay within 3 seconds, which he is maintaining that so far.
And the two Red Bulls haven't got a penalty yet.
Oh, yeah, but they ain't scoring points as it stands. Even though if they do keep it, Clark picks up another penalty. But I mean, you need what? Oh, going off some quick maths, so you need at least what, 3? You need about 20 seconds on every driver at this point, which just isn't going to happen. Or you need to put in some laps that you've never done before.
As Clock might, I thought Clock was making even Morgan there, but I think he was just making a half move.
He's going to have to make it if he wants to get anywhere higher than what he is, because Morgan, I believe, carrying some damage from the lap previous, will try and get a look. Or not. That's complete cap.
I think it's been more difficult to overtake now because of the wet conditions, so we might see some bit of a stalemate, unfortunately, for the last couple of laps, but hopefully I'll be proven wrong, as Otto picks up a penalty. So that's going to be
podium,
that's going to be play even more into the hands of Bennett, as he can take it quite conservative. As I say that, and he goes for a little tank slapper, so he's still got to be careful. He doesn't want to go any higher than 3 seconds. If he gets a penalty himself, then that neutralises it. As Smoke goes for a spin as well. It's all in the spin. I don't think he actually broke for the hairpin there, as he went very wide.
A risking corner behind as well, aftermath of that. What is just happened? Sam going in the chat for saying Klutzy driver of the day after he shafted him. He was the last to get a podium. It would be class. Well, he's got what, 2 and a bit seconds on Owen right now as it stands.
As Ricks and Connor make more contact going into the final corner, as the Ferrari driver seems very frustrated behind the Alpine as to go into turn 1. Will he make a dive bomb? No, he won't, which is quite sensible from him, I must admit.
It's going to start with some Gary Nevilisms in a second with how close everyone's getting to each other's gearboxes. We see Otter lead by 3 seconds, but it's 3 seconds more. He's going to have to pull on Bennett, you know, within the 5 and a bit racing laps we have left. As a car at the end of the pit lane, that's an AlphaTauri of VR46 having a moment at turn 2. I assume it's just a fat tank slapper that's been picked up as a yellow flag, as we see closest battle is Risk versus Connor right now, as we see though stay on board with Alfie and Morgan as they go and try and chase down Owen to get further into the points of what they would be finishing right now, as Moley has passed the Mercedes of Liam towards the back of the little freeway battle they got there between Liam, as he's been passed again.
Moley will currently finish P13 on his debut, so I think he'll be very close on that.
He will be, yeah.
Unfortunately, that ruins his podium streak from Division 3, but I don't think he's expected to get a podium here.
He did very well.
Yeah.
As we see. Oh yeah.
As Alfie's getting closer to Morgan than I think he's ever been, as Colin picks up another penalty, so that's another second for him. So
as a new driver, your most important thing is to finish your first race, build your confidence that way, build on that, you know. And end of the day, you just got to try. You know, maybe he'll get used to the new surroundings. He'll get used to roughly what people do, and end of the day, racing with quicker drivers is the only way to get better, in my opinion.
As Clutzy get past Bennett in the meanwhile, he has got a penalty to his name, but he's going to try and charge on to try and catch Otto for a position, and also try and extend the gap to the guys behind him. So that 3 seconds doesn't mean anything. I think the biggest thing to take in mind is that the gap from Owen to Bennett is 7 seconds, and that will save the likes of Otto and Clutzy for their penalties.
Well, yeah, Owen, don't think it has that 3 second penalty as well, so he's got to get within 3. Alfie been staring at the Ferrari's back end for about 15 minutes, I reckon. Close to, as Liam, I believe, is in the pits now, following an incident he's had. As we see now, the back of this little queue with Connor with Morgan. The gap is currently 3 seconds. Clutzy did pick up another penalty if he didn't have it before. He was past Bennett now. But again, you need those bigger gaps, but as it stands, Otter would be 1.3 seconds off the race when with 3 and a bit laps to go, even though he's just gone around the first second turn, as Liam getting lapped I don't think he's hindered Morgan. Yeah, he wouldn't have hindered him.
Quite close to contact with his teammate there, so that could have been interesting. So Wolf wouldn't have been happy if they came together.
Wolf, as Bennett has a little moment at the end of the chicane there, he's chucking his race away. He's just got to keep it on the track, you know. You've only got to lose around 3 attempts a lap to not get it if you're going for consistent pace.
That was pretty nice to see Paul and Murray there.
A little watch.
Paul does have penalties to his name, so that won't affect Murray too much, but I'm sure Paul will be eager for pride to get past the Red Bull here, as he gets a much better run out of turn 2. So, and then Murray's got good traction there, so he'll stay E14 for now, as Alfie gets past Owen, or making the move on Owen, into the hairpin.
This is ruining Owen's chance at the podium if it hasn't already, pretty much. Would need to gain. What's the? Yeah, he's way too far back.
Contact, as those two have been in the wars this race, and I'm sure they're sick of each other by the end of lap 35. As Race is going to try and make a move into chicane, but I believe ERS is going to be his downfall, as he has a lot less than Connor right now. As he picks up a penalty too, which is going to be his 12-second penalty. Yep,
exactly. That puts him well out of the points if he wasn't already in that situation now. Oh, Smoke got 8 seconds. Has he got? He must have a pit lane infringement. If he didn't catch, and there's a
possibly there's a yellow flag for the Red Bull of Moley. So that's unfortunate for him. So the commentator's curse of him having a really good race. But
shame. With around P13, P12. Would be bad for your debut starting 17th, if I'm right in saying. As we go.
Yes, it's going to be 17th. Actually, it might be 16th, depending.
I'll check. Yeah. We're doing
any more battles of Van Dorn maybe on clock? It's been a bit of a stalemate. I think if this race was dry, we would have seen a lot more battles, but you can only see what's in front of you. As Morgan runs wide again.
Van Dorn and clock. So, and Liam's round. He's lapped anyway, so hopefully he doesn't collect anyone. And then there's Aston Martin. So Smoke has lost it. There's been an incident between Smoke and someone. I can't quite figure out who. Smoke has lost it.
I hope it's not Liam, because he was a lap down. I think he might have been his own undoing now.
That's what I think.
As Van Dorn's got past clock in the meanwhile, going down into turn 1. So that's he would have got past on penalties anyway, but I'm sure he's eager to try and get more positions. As
quick pen check.
It's still under threat for losing the race win here, because the gap between Otter and Bennett is getting quite close to 6 seconds, or is 6 seconds. I
don't think he's going to get that back. It's currently 6.4. You need 2 mega laps out of Bennett. You know, Otter's just got to keep it on track, keep it clean, not get another penalty. Otherwise you'll be chucking the race win away if you weren't already. Bennett will be very frustrated with himself as Paul is past Smoke as we get ready to go on to this final lap of racing. Go ahead, mate.
As Van Dorn's eager to get past the Fire and Morgan, I think he has a lot more ERS too, he definitely does. So Van Dorn's going to go down the inside into the hairpin. And basically a lot later, does lock up both his front wheels, but we'll see if he can get past. He gets a bit of a tank slapper. However, the major ERS advantage should be enough for Van Dorn, and he does get past Morgan on track, even though he would have got past on penalties anyway.
Yep, current gap as it stands, we'll do a little update of this. 6.3 between Otter and Bennett, 6.2 gaining, so a pretty good first sector, but then he just loses it all. So I assume it must have been where they braked out on the track. 2 attempts needed for Bennett to take home this race win for the Aston Martin team. Through 5 and 6 will stay on board with Bennett for now until we get to, you know, just before the Wall of Champions. And see, check flag, it is under 6 seconds now. This will be pretty interesting. See, you know, Bennett's had a few issues at this section of the track and the hairpin. Sector 2 has not been his forte today, but he needs it massively to come through. I don't know how many warnings Otter is on for this this next time penalty, which he will not want to get. 5.72 attempts you've got to lose. To lose it all, he's a bit of a poor sector as Predator's past Sam, but we go now around the hairpin. Klutzy won't be close enough to have a challenge. Klutzy! That'll be him. One for the race for winners. There's a yellow flag as Mercedes is down. As we come through the final chicane, let them go through the final chicane. 7 attempts, it's not enough. Bennett's had an issue somewhere. As he comes through the Wall of Champions for the last time on 35 laps of racing. Bad Otter comes home to take the checker flag and win Canadian Grand Prix. Klutzy Winter from an incident on lap 1 and being last 2 second on track is not a bad doing for sure. Bennett comes home P3, a second off the pace after an incident somewhere. Alfie, where was this penalty placed? It will place him miles behind, 19.5 down. Owen will get ahead of him. Yes, Van Dorn does as well. Morgan with his penalties comes down to P8 as Clock finishes 7th, Risk finishes 8th, Connor finishes ahead of all of them. And that will do it. I don't think VR won't be close enough for points, but Otto wins, Klutzy second, Bennett third to round out the top 3. You know, Klutzy from last on the second or third lap, whatever it was, to podium. It's a P2, not a bad showing for a guy who was looking for the 3P.
Go on, sorry.
No, I'd finished, mate.
I know. My drive of the day is going to be Van Dorn, gained 7 positions, and whilst you were talking about the front, he was making his way through the field quite nicely, and without a spin, he could have definitely been in contention for the podium, but I still think he gets my drive of the day.
Maybe a race win as well.
Yeah.
Or at least the podium, which would be a little bit of a shame, but you know, it's a good showing from him. I'll give him credit as Mercedes. You know, cross-division teammates. Alfie gets the in-game driver of the day for making up the most positions from the back. So that's just how that works, even though not all the time it's true. But yeah. I think I'm gonna have to go Klutzy. Not to come from 18th or whatever it was after that first lap. You know, to come home and get that podium. You know, does take a lot of skill. Honestly, you know, it's not like he gained any positions through penalties. He should have really lost 1 or 2 through penalties in the end. But I mean, that'd be my vote at least for driver of the day. I'll be Klutzy as we see the final results. Otter does take home the win.
Do you mean to invite the podium guys?
Go ahead, get them all in. Hopefully they know what to do in terms of everything. But yeah, it'll be so just a little run through of the finishes. Then, as hopefully no one presses A or anything. Is Bad Otter wins, Klutzy second, Bennett third, Owen fourth, Van Dorn fifth, Alfie sixth, Clock 7th, Connor 8th, Risk 9th, Morgan 10th, VR 11th outside the points, followed by Paul, Sam, Predators, and as we go down near to the bottom, Darren, Moley, Smoke, Liam finished a lap down, and Sem did not finish after a tumultuous race following his brilliant qualifying. As I quickly hit the party button, make sure I know it's muted.
That's the race box now.
Yeah. Actually, I can hold you still anyway. Shouldn't be an issue. Oh, my fingers are killing. Right, is everyone in? Yeah. Yeah, make sure you guys are. Oh, is it not? Oh, might have to chalk it then. I've legit had to hold my iPad across my fingers for the last half an hour, like hour and a half, and it's been painful.
Yeah, just so I can you can hear me.
Yeah, and get it working that way. So I guess the interviews are chalk rough. I mean, do I give a rough translation? Or is there just no point? You just want to go have your celebrations elsewhere?
Yeah, I think
you deserve it.
I don't mind.
Yeah, they deserve to, you know. Was hoping it'd let you include the party audio, but clearly not today. I mean, I will say congratulations to each of the 3 of you, you know. Klutzy, mate, mega drive from you. Especially. Oh, did you? I don't think I saw that. Oh, dang.
Yeah, I think I commented on that.
Hmm. Yeah, I'd say make sure you get the race director bit for that as well if you can. I don't know if that's how my old Lily used to do it, but anyway. No, I mean, mega drive from each of the 3 of you, to be fair. Bennett, commiserations, mate. Race win was yours. I mean, yeah, it's Canada. You know, everyone loves to hate it, but in the end of the day, it's not a bad track. Because it's my turn to mess everything up tomorrow on the track. Yeah, you got all the eyes on you though. Alright, so as much as I would have loved to do the interviews, obviously the Xbox doesn't want to cooperate, so I'm going to let you 3 go and enjoy your night. GG's, I'd say. That's amusing. Do our best for you.
Very passionate for this because we have to go for like 90% actually.
It's typical Xbox, man. Oh yeah, good drives to meet you. Have a good night. That's amusing. So that is it. Another weekend of Division 1 SLR racing action done. Any last thoughts, Arvin?
That was very fun. Very looking forward to trying the track on Sunday.
But what a race that was, though. Very enjoyable from myself. That will be it for the end of the stream. Tune in tomorrow from 6 PM to watch Division 2 featuring yours truly. As we... Oh yeah, that'll get me. Anyway, that will be it from myself, Scar, and Arvin. That will be it for today. I want to thank everyone for tuning in, and as I normally